David Bennett.
Speaker, to the Minister for Communications and Information Technology, what progress has the government made on its election policy to roll out ultra-fast broadband to 75% of New Zealanders?
The Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Mr Speaker, last month the government reached agreements with Telecom New Zealand and Enable Networks through Crown Fibre Holdings to complete the rollout of ultra-fast broadband, complementing the existing partnerships with Well Networks and North Power. The government will partner with Enable to build an ultra-fast broadband network for Christchurch and Rangiora. The Telecom agreement will see a fibre optic access network built in Auckland, the Eastern and Lower North Island and most of the South Island. In addition, Telecom must split off its network arm, Chorus, into a completely separate company so that all broadband retailers can compete fairly on a level playing field. These arrangements, Mr Speaker, will be truly transformational for New Zealand.
David Bennett.
Mr Speaker, supplementary question to the Minister. How will the rollout benefit New Zealand communities?
The Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Mr Speaker, these four agreements with North Power, Well Networks, Chorus and Enable mean the government will reach its goal of bringing ultra-fast broadband to 75% of New Zealanders by 2019. The rollout will start immediately with schools, hospitals and 90% of businesses covered by 2015. Ultra-fast broadband is a key part of the government's economic growth agenda. These new networks will provide an economic step change to our country as we leapfrog many of our competitors to become one of the most fibred countries in the world. The competitive access prices CFH have negotiated will ensure the benefits of fibre are within easy reach of businesses as well as everyday New Zealanders.
Claire Curran.
Will funding for broadband for the 303 schools...
Order, I want to be able to hear the question. Order. Supplementary question, Claire Curran.
To the Minister, will funding for broadband for the 303 schools that he mistakenly excluded from both the urban and rural broadband schemes come from the $285 million already awarded to Telecom and Vodafone for the Rural Broadband Initiative? If not, where will it come from and how much will it cost?
The Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Mr Speaker, the member continues to be incorrect in her premise as she is around a number of things around the broadband initiatives. The $300 million was set aside for the Rural Broadband Initiative. The contract is $285, which leaves $15 million set aside for the remote coverage areas and for the Rural Broadband Initiative to connect Zone 3 in schools. That will more than adequately cover the cost of linking the schools to their local cabinets with fibre, especially given that the drop costs are funded separately through the Ministry of Education. We had to wait, in fact, to see the UFB footprint before we could tender to connect these schools, and the tender, I can tell the member, will be going out very shortly. Conspiracy over.
Point of order, Mr Speaker.
Point of order, Claire Curran.
I seek leave to table two documents. The first is a letter from the Minister to Internet New Zealand, Federated Farmers and the Telecommunication Users Association dated the 27th of May, setting out that 303 schools will be part of a planned procurement activity next year and only 20
Order.
odd
leave us sought
will
to
be
table.
connected.
Order. We've heard sufficient on that. Leave us sought to table that document. Is there any objection? There is objection. Point of order, Claire Curran.
Point of order. I seek leave to table a document titled Rural Broadband Initiative Final Proposal, which spells out that there are no changes
Order.
proposed.
What is the source of this document?
It's the Ministry of Education.
Ministry of
Economic Development
Of
website.
Economic Development. Leave us sought to table that document. Is there any objection? Sorry? Is there any objection? There is objection. No, order. I'm going to deal with a point of order myself. I apologise to members for taking this matter up, but the House does have a dress code. Order. If the member is wearing the top of a sports team, I can imagine an occasion where the Speaker's permission might be sought to do that. But if it is a sports top the member is wearing, I would ask her to leave the chamber and come back dressed consistently with the standing orders of the House. The member The member wishes to raise a point of order.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
Declare current point of order.
Could the Speaker please alert me to the relevant standing order on dress code for women?
Well, the Speaker has decided it's not appropriate unless the Speaker's permission is sought to advertise sports teams in this chamber. Nothing is allowed to be advertised in this chamber. And it is simply, if a male member of this House came into this House wearing a soccer top or a rugby top, they would be asked to leave. And in the order, I'm on my feet. In the interest of fairness across all members of the House, the rules should be consistent on either side. And what is expected in this House is normal business attire. And I'm asking the member to leave the chamber and come back dressed appropriately should she wish. That's all I'm asking. It's not a big call. But that I'm on my feet. I'm on my feet. And I'm waiting for the member to leave. I'm waiting for the member to leave. This House does have certain dress standards, and it would not be acceptable for a male member to be dressed that way, and it is totally unreasonable, therefore, to discriminate. I let the member ask her questions. I didn't interfere with her rights to ask her questions, but I do insist that the standards of this House be upheld. Question. Point of order, the Honourable Trevor Mallard.
Mr. Speaker, I thank you for the ruling that you've just made, because I think it is the first step towards having some equality in this House. It is, I think it's fair to say, important to get on the record that it is the first step around having standards for women. We've had in the past Ruth Richardson regularly in this House in a tracksuit, and so that was something which was allowed because I think when the original rules were developed, it wasn't contemplated that there would be women members of Parliament. So I'd ask you to look very carefully at your ruling around sports attire and advertisements for sporting events and for sports teams. I happen to be wearing, at the moment, the tie that was used when there was a bipartisan approach to get the Rugby World Cup. Are you suggesting that it's inappropriate to advertise that event? And if not, sir, is it inappropriate to support a rugby team by wearing their tie, or, as a number of members do, badges from those teams?
Order. I hear the honourable member, and order. And it's not an unreasonable thing he's raised. I fully accept that there are times where members do wear ties and pins of sports teams, and I have no objection to that whatsoever. Members, I think, need to exercise some discretion. I just draw members' attention to Speaker's ruling 16.8, where it says the Speaker will take issue with any member who is not dressed in appropriate business attire, whether the member is male or female. And I just think, and I don't, you'll note that I let the member, I didn't interfere with the members asking him questions. I think that would have been totally unreasonable. And I'm very happy for the member to come back into the House. It's not that the member's been asked to leave the House for any period of time at all. It's just I believe that there should be appropriate. The Speaker needs to be even-handed in the way he treats both men and women with respect to their attire.
Point of
order. Sue Kedgley got to her feet first. Sue Kedgley, point of order.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I wonder, given today's incident, whether you could spell out for us what business attire is that we women are expected to comply with, so we could have it elaborated for us.
The Honourable Trevor Mallard, does he?
Very briefly, Mr. Speaker, I hadn't caught up with 16.8, which was, of course, well after the time that Ruth Richardson and a number of other women used to wear tracksuits in the House.
All I can say is I wasn't Speaker then, and I don't think women need a lot of assistance on what is reasonable. All I'm asking is members to be reasonable. I'm not going to be I'm not going to be pedantic about this sort of thing at all, but I just think it's unreasonable. There is no doubt, order, there is no doubt were a male member to come into the House wearing a rugby or a soccer top, they would not be, issue would be taken with that matter, and I'm just being even-handed across the House. Question number 6, the Honourable Clayton Sue Kedgley, point of order.
I did ask a question whether you would please make a commitment to spell out for women, because I, for one, am completely confused as to what does constitute business...
Order. I just made it clear to the House that I would trust members' own judgment on that within reason. I don't wish to be pedantic. And it doesn't need me to indicate to women what is reasonable attire, what is reasonable business attire. Question number 6, the Honourable Clayton Cosgrove.
Mr. Speaker, my question is